Can I say from back here, I got a big mouth. On behalf of the fire department, you know, we have our carnival and our car show and all that. And I just wanted to thank the residents for their support. Carnival was a lot different than it was in the past. We had a lot of good comments about it. So I don't know how we'll go in the future, but we may stay in that vein, but that's to be decided. But I want to thank the board for their support, also Chief Povirk and the police department, Bill Foxworth and the public works department, and the whole township family for supporting our activities. So thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you. Very good. Anyone else? Very well.
Oh, no, I have. Sorry, guys.
State your name and address.
Hi, I'm Michelle Stonemark. Happy to stay at 40 North Polly, even though I'm technically not living there yet. My first question is for you, Dan. You mentioned something about...
Please address it, just the board.
Okay, I'm sorry. You mentioned something about a grant in the ABB property. He's applying for a grant for the ABB property. Did we purchase the ABB property?
Okay, now, go ahead, Dan. Would you like to address?
Sure. The township has a sales agreement with ABB, and that was sufficient to make application for a grant for the funding of the potential cleanup of this lake dump on the ABB property. So that's later to be determined how and the logistics of all that. This was just getting a grant application in for that part of the project.
So the board approved the grant submission, and we should hear something back maybe by fall or so?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. They acknowledge receipt of it.
Pardon me? The whole board approved. I guess there were no votes, still the board approved.
Well, that would be my next question. When did the vote go out? Was it a public vote?
We had,
A public vote?
care to address?
You recall how that went?
Okay.
There was a time limit on the grant. There was a time limit on the grant that didn't allow it to come to this board's next, to this meeting here tonight. So there was a consensus of at least 3 of the board members to submit the grant application. There was no commitment required, there was no resolution required, there was no formal action required other than to transmit it to the agency with some information.
Right, so have retroactively publicly voted, or at least, so this board can vote on it tonight.
My question is, I guess, that if we don't technically own the property yet, doesn't it seem a little bit shady, if you will, to be applying for grant money for something? I mean...
There were five individuals. This came to the attention of the special counsel on the project, which is Dr. Ahrensberg. It came to their attention. They had 5 individuals from DEP that met with myself, our environmental consultant, Dr. Ahrensberg, on the site. They walked the entire property. They thought the project was a good, eligible candidate for this grant application. That's when there was a memo that was written from David Mangelo to Don Januso outlining what the meeting was and the available funding and the process for doing that. And the application was due on July 31st, which would not allow there to be a board vote, official vote on it. So there was just a consensus of the elected officials.
Dan, and you had mentioned though that, what was the point?
DEP?
Can I? Well,
Finish the slide. Give him 1 moment.
I guess I expressed this concern to you when I got a phone call about this, or a text message about this, that I have some concern because we were told all along that we couldn't apply for a grant for property that we didn't own. And we don't technically own.
I was at the meeting myself. Your special counsel was in. He's your legal advice on this. He saw no issue with it. The people from DEP saw no issue. Because you're in a sales agreement, you effectively can act as the owner because you're in that sales agreement. So that was sufficient enough.
I guess my concern is can this be thrown back at us at a later date? Could we at some point decide that, when we get into phase 2 testing or whatever, that there's something that we don't want to move forward with this sale? Could ABB, in order to force us to move forward with this sale, say, wait a second, you're already acting as the owner, you submitted this grant?
No,
Dan, we had vested interest in the property for you to work with the DEP like that. That's not the issue. I mean, my point I wanted to make that I lost before was that we owe on the property as a sales agreement a maximum of $450,000. If we get any grant money, it comes off of our end. So if we can get a $200,000 grant, we'll only owe effectively $250,000 for the property. It doesn't go to ABB. It just cuts down. If we can get a $450,000 grant, we'll basically get the property for zero.
That's not my concern. My concern is we were told all along that we couldn't apply for any grants until we owned the property. Now all of a sudden there's this grant available, and we're getting phone calls and text messages and emails that says we have to do this and we can move on it quickly.
Who told you we can't apply for grants?
We were told that.
Who
We were
told you?
told we couldn't apply for grants until we officially owned the property. Brad Stupi.
All right. Michelle, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have a couple of things.
Can I would you mind that I interrupt and let's try to tie this loose end up, or can I have a motion on that, just the approval to send the grant?
So moved.
Motion made by Tom and a
Second.
second by Frank. Any further discussion on that? No? All those in public, would you have any comments in regards to that topic? Very well.
I guess it really doesn't matter now because you already voted for it. You already applied for it, so
Well, we're gonna-
public comment
we're gonna-
doesn't really matter.
That was
One moment,
publicly
please.
voted.
So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
No.
No.
Carol, allow the record to show Supervisor Fisher and Ron Flair voted no. The others are in favor.
These people need to know what we're looking at to clean it up.
Yeah,
We're looking at $3 to $5 million.
there are those of
Very
us,
well. Back to you, ma'am.
thank you, there are those of us who are opposed to that property altogether anyway, so I guess that's where my beef comes from, being in, knowing a lot about grants and grant writing and that sort of thing, that this whole thing, hearing about it at tonight's meeting, I don't know, it goes right into my next point, which is the communication in this township altogether,
Okay.
which is something that we talk a lot about. And to Cindy's point earlier, which what she said about, Frank came up to me at the fireman's thing this weekend and talked to me about the comprehensive plan committee meeting and how he liked the stormwater management. We talked a little bit about that there, and that's great. And if he would have told me he was going to bring it up tonight, I would have said, hey, I support that 110%, bring it up tonight. So there's really no reason why you can't just fire it on the agenda under new business. And a couple of other things too, just so people know, that stuff that's going to be, even if it's just going to be discussed for a few minutes.
All right.
Michelle, to that point in the past, we've had trouble getting things on the agenda. It was censored and screened when we had issues, we couldn't
I
get it on the agenda.
110% agree. I have to beg Carol or Teresa for an agenda up until the last minute if it's not posted
But to
on.
Frank's point, we would ask for something we put on, it would be put on one version, it would take it off. I think, I want to make it abundantly clear, my comment about stuff being on the agenda wasn't a direct reflection of what Supervisor Adizia brought up. I should have waited, my fault, I should have waited and either done it before or done at the end. I get frustrated because it's clear that some of those things have been discussed among supervisors before, and I constantly feel like I'm being blindsided. Like I'm sitting down tonight and that's brought up. Now granted, I was on vacation, but I know nothing about it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who's discussed it. It should be publicly addressed. It should be on the agenda. Maybe there's a resident out there who would come and say, I'd love to be a part of that, but September 10th doesn't work well for me. It's just communication. Just put it on the agenda and put it out for the public.
That was Ms. Stonewall's remark, was communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything further?
Yes, I do have a couple more
Go
further
ahead.
remarks. And actually Supervisor Fleer brought it up earlier too, because I was actually going to talk about, one of the other things we talked about at our meeting was blighted property. And we talked about, whether or not we can fine, or I'm not sure what the proper term is, but when you report somebody because their property is a mess, and I didn't know if supervisors were excluded from that or not. If their property isn't falling under the proper ordinances.
Okay, we could, well, investigate.
Are you excluded from that, being a township supervisor?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was, because I drove past Supervisor Sabati's house, and you've got a lot of stuff outside your house too, that I can talk complain about.
Very well. Thank you. Any other comments?
No, I would like to just follow up with what Senator, I can never say his name right, thank you.
Representative Ortiz.
Thank you. Representative Ortiz said about you guys, Don McDonald. I know that Joe and some of the other residents really appreciate all the work you guys have done. So thanks.
All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Mr. Cassiola, you said,
If Mr. McCombs came here, I still don't understand, are you saying that we can't approve what he needs from Mr. Fuchs? He wants to move on to other right-of-ways, and we can't move on to other right-of-ways unless we approve this one. When Dan said that the right-of-way, that the mechanics of the right-of-way are fine, you just have to make sure all the signatures are there from the authority. Why can't we, or are you suggesting that we can't do a conditional approval?
No, there's nothing more to do. I mean, you've approved the MOU. I don't have a fully executed version, and I'm going to go back and talk to the authority and make sure I have a fully
Right,
executed
that's part of
version.
your review, so I'm saying, I made a motion to approve it, subject to your review.
You guys already moved to approve the MOU.
Not the MOU, this is the right way that Mr. Fuchs needs approved, this, the mechanics of what Dan reviewed for.
There's a technical easement agreement. It's not this. It's an actual easement agreement
Right.
that was prepared. I have not reviewed it yet.
I know.
That's the next thing I'm going to do.
do.
After the MOU is fully executed, I'm going to move on to the next step, as I said, which is reviewing this easement and making sure it's consistent with what we agreed to in principle.
Okay, so we can review all of that, so I'm asking, what's wrong with the motion to approve it conditioned on your review?
Well, there's nothing to approve.
Gretchen, he's talking about recording the right-of-way, recording the easement.
Actually recording it, yeah, I need to review it first, but that's all set in motion by the MOU.
I don't think, Tom, it needs to come back to you guys.
Yeah.
I think the memorandum of understanding, Mr. McCombs is here tonight unannounced, we didn't know he was coming. I think what Gretchen's saying is the MOU permitted administratively us to review all the other documents going forward. You already approved the MOU.
Correct.
Which approved the location, as long as they kept it the same, and we just proceed ahead to review the
Does
documents.
that satisfy you, Dan's explanation?
He's satisfied, I told him.
Yeah.
I told him.
All right, okay.
very well. Mr. Fleck, comment.
We get these magazines, Pennsylvania Township News. It's pretty nice to say Cecil was ranked 14th in the safest place to live. All the rest of them were out east. Sean's doing a pretty good job.
Very well. Any other comments from the audience? Yes.